What's up everyone, hello and welcome back to Crown Falls as it is growing and growing on this very fine day. Now also what is growing is the storages in distant forests as we're getting more and more raw materials in for coal and iron. And yes, I hear you guys, it was totally stupid to build those furnaces without having the raw materials in first. And believe me, I've cried my tears overnight, but at some point I just had to move on. And yeah, moving on is what we do. Let's activate them back on because the raw materials are in. What I can also do is I'm going to build those steel factories here now, 6 of them. And I'm going to build that warehouse here. Let's also upgrade that warehouse for now. By the way, there's still a fire station over there and a police station that I'm going to add to this whole area. Now, one problem that we have right now is the workforce. That is because I have these steelworks now 2 times, and we can also now finally get rid of them here, and boom! Off it goes, and back comes my workforce. We can also get rid of these very ugly weapon factories that we no longer need. And look at how much beautiful space we have. It's just fantastic, really. So much more, you know, paper or, yeah, papers that we can paint something on. I should think that is the right pronunciation for that, or the right choice of words that we have there. Now, before I continue with my very bad English logical findings here, what we still want to do is another thing. I want to prepare my city for something bigger. The harbor area is getting a bit more busy with more and more ships waiting here all the time, and I said that fish is rather useless to us right now, and it is, right? It's using a lot of space. Look at that. We have fisheries here, we have fisheries here, a lot of them, when we don't really need them anymore. Let's just have a look at my docklands. I should be able to build us another export office. There we have it. Let's go ahead and build this one for real. And this opens up another trade contract for us down here. And yeah, actually, let's use the sewing machines one more time. I think we can still afford all of that and use fish on that. And you'll be just surprised, 1 to 14 is the ratio here. Let's actually push this up to 100. That's 1,300 or 1,400 tons almost of fish that we are importing now with the docklands. The fish is looking rather full at the moment. That's right. Let's get rid of all the fisheries. Gone are they from the main harbor area, and gone are they now from the side harbor areas. Lots of them. Totally useless to us now. We can save the workforce. We can save the space for it for something better later on again. And this also shows us now the complete consumption rate for fish, minus 27. Buyers is coming in after 20 minutes, so that's 540 tons of fish that we consume in 20 minutes. Let's put a buffer on that, so let's say 700 tons. So I actually don't need more than 700 tons. We're getting 1,400 tons in right now. This is still fine because we're capping at 1,200, so we will not be trading more than what we actually, you know, consume in this case here. So it's not going to be 100 tons of sewing machines, but rather, I guess, 30 or 40 tons that we're going to need here. That's fine. The same, of course, also comes with the iron ore, and the same goes with our grain. That is, yeah, really dropping quickly there, but overall it's fine. This is looking fantastic so far. We've saved the space, and well, with that we can do something now. First of all, let's get rid of these 2 harbor cannons, saving us a bit of influence. And I would like to increase the size of my docklands. Let's actually get the storage over here for now, right, in this tiny area there. Oh, and by the way, something else we need to do, and that is the trade route adjustments here still. So the iron ore and the coal is coming in with only 1 ship at the moment. This ship is here at the moment. We can now add a second ship, Langoustine, that is down here. Right, so there's 2 ships on this one now. And then I've got my steel and steel beams on it. And San Juan will be activated now. He's starting this trading. And do we have another clipper? We don't have another clipper available. So I need to, well, construct this a few more. Let's go ahead, 1 and 1, that should be fine. We still have 29 influence. That we could use for a bit of propaganda down the road then. Another thing that is really bothering me here in the harbor area. Let's get rid of these dirt roads here. It's just horrible, really, that in such a big town we still have dirt roads in the harbor area. Now that's a bit better, having every paved road here now. Also a bit more of the city itself, looking fantastic. That also now means with the storage that I'm getting rid here, that we can do something. I would like to try something and use the docklands as the main harbor building now and not the trading post anymore, right? Because for ages, for generations, for literally not centuries, a decade, of course, for decades I've been using now the trading post as the center. With the docklands, it's not really necessary anymore. And let's just see what we could do here instead. I would like to move this one over here and the docklands then into the center, because I think this is going to look much better. Let's just wait for those two trades. There's so many ships coming in all the time. Unfortunately, I cannot do that really. So unfortunately, we need to disrupt the whole business here a bit. Why is a free coastline? I guess trading post likes a bit more free space than over there. Of course, the trading post really needs to persist, right? Without it, the whole city would collapse. And now instead of that, we can move this one a bit further over there, like this. That is better. And from here on, we can then continue with building up our docklands as the harbor area is growing. And boy, we do need to do that, right? So we do have, for example, pretty important is the loading wharf reduces the loading times for the local ships that arrive here. The loading times are already crazy at this point. So I would like to add a bit more on that. And let's move the depots over there because, well, actually you can do that. You know, they don't need to be connected, which is a pretty cool thing. And have the loading wharfs instead a bit further outside, or actually also here as one big line coming out. This one is reducing the loading times for all the ships in the harbor area by 50%, speeding it up a lot. We might actually move them a bit further over there so ships have a bit more space. And of course, we need to be careful that it still is touching our docklands here. Then we have the export offices. They don't really need a harbor area really, right? So we can have them a bit further over there, for example, in this area. So I could just have a few more of them to open up a more trade contracts for us. And then I would like to continue also with some depots. So we could squeeze in another depot here by the other ones that we already have. We could actually get rid of this depot there altogether and get us a few more depots then on the way here as we are moving closer to the trading post. And then we could move in some of these piers then here in the docklands main area just down here for that. This is all looking rather choppy at the moment. I might need to improve that, of course, then as well with better building placement. This one actually, what is that? That is a depot, so we could still move this one over there, connecting it. Those depots, unfortunately, are really tricky because they do need harbor area themselves, right? So if I want to move that correctly, then it could be something like that. And we move the whole thing a bit further down here. We have upgraded another good here. Perfect. So we could have a little Venice then here over time. And of course, this time I'm going to plan with lots and lots of modules that we can use then here. This one still needs a connection. Right, and we could have the street then on the other side, going behind that up there. Right, into this area there. But the docklands, of course, is going to be the major point of interest here. And also, the docklands do have lots of ornaments. Like this really cute looking copper roofed kiosk that we can have outside here for a bit of a nice view, enjoying the day. In these corners here, we can use something like piles of barrels and something so that the whole thing looks, you know, realistic and full of stuff really. It's also adding people then to the whole area. So this is doing a lot of favor there for us, I think. We could have a nice little lighthouse at the end of it all, right? So this one is showing the way into Crown Falls. And perhaps another industrial crane then here. And also a warehouse that we could add to this area. This whole area still hasn't been used, of course. That's another thing that we can do then. The beginning of something great, not so great looking yet, but it's functional for us and what we need to do. And as we can see, also lots of fisher boats here, so we might also be adding then something for those guys here, like piles of barrels. Perhaps not. And like these little fisher boats here then as well in this canal as we're going over there. Perfect. For now, at least it's fine. We are going to remodel this massively again, of course, at some point. Now, we have 2 additional piers with that. And for this side here, we can also think about that. I will need to think about a new location for all of these cannons, though, later on. So far, so good. Now, how is it looking with my distant forest? Is this now fully working? There's something missing here. I think we don't have enough, don't really have enough materials here. So coal and iron ore is coming in. I think we're going to need a 3rd ship for this whole thing. Let's just check it. We do have enough, really. We do have another clipper, vampire squid. Let's put this one on this trade route there as well. After all, it's a lot of consumption. And these, of course, are being added then to Cape Trelawney here as well. So that we have then those trade routes being sorted in the right manner. Perfect. Of course, we shouldn't forget about upgrading our beautiful town and where we can upgrade. Down here, a few more engineers now coming into the city. Also here perhaps, and along the tracks on that side. And those guys. And then this whole district here is actually full of engineers. We got more workers over there that should be looking at the face of artisans now. Oh, by the way, there is a range problem. This should be easily solvable though, because we definitely do have enough range here. Especially once we have those paved roads then out there. There you go. There you go. And there's still something missing here. That should do the trick. 99%. Where's the trick? I need to find me a trick here. Is that closer here? I think this might be closer. Let's make actually the first stone bridge in this area. And now, those people were very demanding, but now they got all of that. And we can upgrade them further. And we still have 1,000 farmers. I will, by the way, also need me a farmer city, a farmer island at some point. That moment has not come yet. So we can happily continue upgrading those guys. Plus, we don't need that many anymore. With all the importing here, and especially in this district that we have way too many farmers yet. Let's get rid of them. That's beautiful. That's fantastic. And that's it, right? And then we are down to 43 farmers only. And this whole area is now farmer free as well. And is only usable with workers. Look how the city is coming together then. After a bit. Of course, those dirt roads really, really destroy the view of that. But I'm going to rectify that as we continue. Step by step. Now, of course, seeing how many sewing machines we still have, and we are totally capped on that. By the way, I need to increase my storage, yes. I'm going to use my sewing machines now as well on the potatoes. So another product that is really cheap and is though consuming a lot of space for us. Let's do this. Let's have 100 sewing machines there as well. We're never going to need that many potatoes as we're already capped with 1,400 there. But at least potatoes enough. And with that, I can also now get rid of all of the potato fields up here. It's been a long time since we saw that coming, I guess. And with that, save the space and also save the workforce. 440 farmers are available with that as well. And all of this beautiful space that we can then use for more city expansion down the road. Fire has been destroying one of my hunting cabins there in Western Frontier, where Hugo is mercilessly continuing to purchase my shares. And I would really please like to check this one here once more. Get me something. Scholar residences, that's still a bit further off. No epic item here. And oh, it's getting already really expensive there again. Rerolling, we're past 1 million though. So at least that is something we can afford, these rerolls. And we should also be doing the same thing here in the New World regularly to get the coffee seeds at some point. We should really be getting them, and also finding more production boosts. In the New World though, it's a bit more expensive re-rolling, as far as I can see right now. So it's not going to be that easy. Coffee plantation productivity plus 15%. This is something I'm actually going to take because we're going to use the coffee here with the trade unions. There's no other way around that. And that means with this item we can further boost the productivity with the limited amount of coffee plantations that we're going to have then. There's an alpaca we can use for the museum. And a bunch of darner. But that's already it again. It's also nice to know that Captain Tobias warns you to handle the horn cautiously. What kind of horn does this drunken captain mean with that?
Waiting new horizons.
Now, I would like to put my eyes on Larsen for the moment, that very small farmer village just across Crown Falls. I guess it's not going to be a farmer village for that long anymore. There's lots of high-tech materials coming in here, my reinforced concretes especially, because in Larsen I'm planning 2 production chains that we would like to have here. It's pretty close to Crown Falls, so it makes exchange between goods rather easy, and thus very important goods should be exchanged. And with that I mean 2 things, and that is brass and filaments. Both of them are going to consume quite a lot of very valuable materials. I just need to check. I think that's the sewing machines. Let's just have a quick look at that. No, the soap has reached legendary status. What? And the sewing machine is still stuck down there. 300 more tons, 200 more tons before we can upgrade this one. That's a shame. But at least the soap is now the most valuable trading good that we can have. And thus helping us in the process. At least that is something. Now, I would like to point my eye now here. What we need to do in Larsen. We have lots of space. And we don't have oil here primarily, right? But we do have space. And we do have that space down there. I could also use this one. What I will definitely like to do here now is I'm going to build us a commute pier that we do need. And that commute pier now is costing us influence. So that's the first time. The freebies are over, right? They really want something from me now. And with that, 15 influence, that's fine. Let's actually place it outside here. There we have it. Workforce is shared. And yep, sorry guys, Larsen is no more. Those people are now all moving to Crown Falls. It's really just across the area there, right? And with that, we make this area available. Let's just see. We do have a bit more influence, do we? Yeah, and we have some very positive news around it there. And actually have 10 influence left over. Let's just get rid of all of these paths here, as I'm basically not going to need them, except for this connection there and this connection here. Right. That's important. We will need another pier here then as well with that. By the way, this ship should be out of and on its way getting me more building materials for Larsen. And here we can make our factories now that we have for Crown Falls. And down here in the middle of the mountains, we're going to have these productions. So if I ever want to boost it by oil, we have this beach area there where the oil is coming in for this whole production area then, right? For this whole ugly area that we're going to have there, full of brass and whatnot. Let's have this one here. It's a bit hidden then from the world, right? Because it's in these mountains there. I think that's going to be fine. So what we need first is brass. We're going to need a lot of that. Brass is important for the spectacles. It needs zinc and copper. And it's also important for the steam motors. And later on then for our skyscrapers. But for now, the brass will be here. Let's just see how many we need. It produces per 1 minute. And of course, we should keep in mind electricity already from the beginning. So I'm going ahead with another triple road here. This is really for the train that is probably going to end then here somewhere with a power station, and then the train goes down there to the harbor area. And that means basically here we have lots of space now for all of the things that we need. We, by the way, have a copper deposit in Larsen already that could help us out a bit. Let's go ahead with the first district of melchers, and we're going to have another warehouse then, I guess, just across the street. And then I'm basically just going to have a whole bunch of additional ones here. That's 12 per minute that we would produce, but I'm pretty sure that we're going to need more than that. So let's make this one to 18 per minute. I could boost this one further by 20 per minute. That is fine. Let's have us another market warehouse here in this area. And for this, we can use then this tiny corner there with a fire station. That will be needed, I'm sure of. Right, in this location. with all that brass, and that of course doesn't need to be the end, but it's the end for now. We can boost them then. What I'm going to use for the boosting is I'm going to need to reserve a bit of space here for an oil power plant. That needs to be as central as possible. So here should be fine with a road around it for later. This warehouse there, I don't know if we want to keep that. Filaments is the other very important thing. The filaments I'm going to need for the elevators, and I'm going to need it for the light bulbs. Light bulb factories. They cost me engineers. So both of them, by the way, cost me a lot of engineers now. We have enough. That's a good thing. Now let's get those filament factories. They produce every minute once again. To check this one, there is a smaller... Oh! And this Jing, she's attacking my very important clippers. And I could actually, yep, have my warships here in this channel to protect my ships there. Oh, good. These are very, very important ships for us. These clippers. Right, and that is definitely going down here. Taking its time though. There it is. My clipper, by the way, can deliver us some more resources. We're going to need a lot more window though. So let's go this 100 tons more windows and reinforced concrete that we are going to need for these additional factories then here. So brass, we can continue in this direction, and in this area it's now filaments. Let's actually get rid of this warehouse there. I don't like it so close. Let's have this one here by the power plant, and then we're going with filament factories. Oh boy, it's going to we're going to need a lot of them, right? As we know, they're very, very important for the elevators then. Here, we are having another mine that I can use then as well. That's that. That's that. And then we could add a couple more here then in this whole area. Perfect. There's another warehouse already for the mines then. And down here we have the lumberjack huts already. But that still should be perfectly fine. And perhaps another warehouse then here and here. That's a lot of filaments. It's all going to get boosted by electricity. We could, by the way, wait a second, use trade routes for this whole endeavor here too, right? So those trade routes, trade unions, are going to play a major role then. Oh, they should not overlap. That's totally right. Let's have this one here. This is affecting almost all of them. Will be fine. And this one is affecting almost all of them. This one we can move then down. Right? That should be fantastically efficient, really. Because for later, filaments and brass are getting some very valuable boosts that we could use here then as well. Like, for example, providing electricity without a power plant close by. Now, that's fine. That's actually really good looking. Now, I'm not going to build those factories right away, though. I'm not that stupid anymore. Medusa is going to be a new trade route, and Medusa is going from Crown Folds to Larsen, and it's basically having one goal only, and that's going to be taking all the zinc and all the copper that we have in Crown Folds to Larsen. And I think one ship will be really fine for that for now. For the copper, however, for the coal, for the filaments, they need coal. We have 4 coal deposits in Larsen. Let's use them instead of getting the coal over here, which I think would be a waste. So there we have one. There we have a second one where there's already a warehouse. There we already have a warehouse as well. And the fourth one here. I don't think we need that much yet though. That's fine. And also let's build the filament factories. For that, we need to check how many light bulbs we need. So 3 at the moment per minute. The light bulb factory is producing every minute. So that means I need 4. Let's make it 6 of them. And that makes 6 filament factories. And that in return basically only really uses 2 coal mines for now. And not even that. 6 of them. How expensive? Oh my goodness, 120,000 credits just this one block. Yeah, I guess it's needed. Let's build them, and let's build those 2 here as well. Let's build that warehouse, and let's upgrade this warehouse here. Let's also upgrade this one. That's actually really, really expensive. And in order to further boost them, let's have some paved roads here, and thus also depleting the rest of my bricks. Righto. But they are going to work here now. That's the filaments. And then for the brass, I need to save up on some more bricks. But you know, that is just really, really easy to do. And I just need to get my brick clippers over there. With that, another production chain is starting now. Another very expensive one. But it's going to be worth it because now we're on the road to investors. Stay tuned.